Alrighty, absolutely. Welcome back. You are still watching hashtag Why in the Morning. My good name is Brian Sako. You can find us on the hashtag Why in the Morning. And my personal handles is at Brian Sako 101. Now, in this last conversation, the guest that I'm about to introduce to you is no stranger to your screens. The spotlight loves him. My first time interacting and meeting with him was in 2017 when he was just an ordinary sales car attendant at Kilimani at Akayed. Over the years, he's built resilience in his journey of entrepreneurship. However, his rise to stardom has not been easy. It's been murky and rocky, but his love and passion for cars and flights makes him a multifaceted, admirable personality online, commanding a ginormous following on social media. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to get up close and personal with Mr. KALIF KAIRO.
Asante.
Karibu sana.
Having me on the show.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
It feels like 30 years later.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Time does fly.
Yeah. What did the leaf say to KAIRO? KALIF.
KALIF. That's a good one.
All right, so nice to meet you. How are you feeling so far and how is everything?
I mean, it's been a rocky past a few weeks.
Yeah.
But we are taking it in stride. Nothing comes easy.
Right.
Challenges do come, and I'm not one to back down from a good challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
But just a little bit of context, where you started, for anyone who doesn't know your journey.
Yeah.
I mentioned I met you in 2017. You were just an ordinary sales car attendant.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew that you'd ever blow up and be this massive on social media, receiving massive and wild feedback. For the people that never knew your journey or don't understand where you come from, please, just to put context.
I've been selling cars for 10 years now. Started off back in 2014 November. So I've been in the game. So this is my 11th year. And I worked in Lavington. I was employed for 2 years from 2015 to 2017.
Yeah.
Then I did freelancing from 2017 to around 2020. Founded my first company in 2020.
Yeah.
It was a partnership of sorts. I did it for 2 years.
Yeah.
We went our separate ways in 2022. Then I founded my current company, KAIRO.com. In 2022, and and we're still running it. We've built it to become one of the most visited car sales platforms in Kenya.
Right.
Yeah.
And thereafter, I remember you blowing up slowly by slowly. Maybe. When was the first time you started receiving massive reactions and feedback on social media? Is there something that you did? Was it a car deal that you sealed?
Okay. I think we had a change of approach sometime in 2020, and I started doing a lot of video. Especially during the height of COVID.
Yes.
So yes, I started doing video reviews, talking about cars, and around that same time, because a lot of guys were on lockdown, there was very heavy interest from the socials. So from 2020 is when I would say that I started getting higher than normal attention. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But then things escalated. You moved from Diamond to Plaza.
Yes.
You went to Kiambu Road.
Yes.
Maybe what prompted the move? Is it because the business had scaled and you were expanding?
No, actually, we had a fallout with my former partners.
Okay.
And I ended up resigning from that company, ceding my shareholding.
Right.
And I left, and I had to start afresh from Kiambu Road. Yeah. So I started fresh from Kiambu Road. But over time, we did come back to Westlands and Diamond Plaza. Right now, we have a dealership.
Oh, you've already made a comeback.
Yeah, we've already made a comeback. Yeah. We have an office in Westlands and Diamond Plaza. Now, despite we've had a few recent challenges in the past few weeks, but we still do have the Diamond Plaza showroom.
Yeah. But then last year ended up really widely for you.
Yes.
And this year began with little bits of storms.
Yes.
And do you believe there's people who are collaborating and in cahoots and out for your downfall in the automobile industry?
Yes, that is true. There are a lot of people who are doing everything under the sun to try to sabotage my company. And it's expected, especially in a society like Kenya, where we don't really encourage competition and where a few individuals might think they own the entire industry. So every time someone is trying to come up, of course you're going to be fought. It's normal, and it's not unique to Kenya. Happens. I mean, it applies to every single country on earth. Even companies like Airbnb, Uber have been fought for being innovative, for being very radical. And it's also good to note, like last year we won best car dealership in Kenya.
Right.
And I won best CEO under 30 in Kenya. So I mean, those are huge milestones, and of course,
it prompted reactions from some
they ruffle a couple of feathers. So we've seen quite a number of, we've seen sabotage through, you know, articles, so, you know, paid online bloggers who don't tire, you know, and the whole point is just to paint the company in bad light. Right. And it's had its negative effect on us, but we're still very resilient. I mean, we're not, I'm not the type to give up. And I always enjoy a good challenge. I mean, I
know you for that. But then at some point you mentioned to me, I think it was in 2022 again when we met in our setup, you mentioned there's people who are even sending you death threats, you know, baying for your blood. They want to murder you and kill you.
I mean, I even saw, I saw a death threat on Twitter this Sunday. From even right now, from one of the, there's a certain famous, he was a former influencer. Nowadays he doesn't get as much as attention. But I saw him, I mean,
so you feel like he's trying to gain relevance?
But he gave me a death threat.
Wow.
Yeah, for
what was the message? What was the message?
It was like, you know, that tell that car guy, people who want him dead. He was even saying what he'll wear at my funeral. I mean, and I found it amusing.
Yeah, that's why.
I found it amusing.
That's insane. That's insane. And now, how's your family now? I understand your mom is your greatest support system. And maybe also during these stormy times, because there's been several accusations online that have been circulating, including arrests. And even as well, you premiering and debuting during the Gen Z protests. And it's like a miasma of just a lot of chaos happening in your life.
It's been chaotic. Last year was very chaotic. But I mean, it's a learning curve.
Right.
And of course, my mom is very worried.
Yeah.
No parent is just.
What does she say when you make the phone calls?
No, she's like, okay, you know, you just need to be a bit more careful. Don't trust anybody. Keep a smaller circle. And these are things I do generally. But of course, she's not very pleased. But she understands. My mom understands that I have a very big vision. She says it herself. That whatever is ahead of you is very huge.
Right.
So some of these things you have to go through them. It's normal. Very, very normal. I mean, nobody ever gets to greatness on a smooth path. You have to fight a lot of things, and these are the things that define a man, build your character, and you know, anchor you towards your purpose.
Now, during these stormy times, who have been the prominent, I'd say, forces that have been on your side supporting you secretly? People might not see them on social media, but in your corner, you know, this and this person, they are by my side all the time through these dark, you know, stormy waves that you've been going through. Significantly,
there was the Grand Mullah, Ahmed Nasir. You know, he reached out. We had a very long chat at his office, and he gave me a lot of encouragement. And he emboldened my fighting spirit, you know. It is very good when someone of his stature is able to advise you, guide you. And there are very many people who have also reached out. Some I can't mention, you know, due to the nature of. There are a lot of powerful people in this country who prefer to move in the shadows
silently.
So I mean, the support that. Funny thing, despite the issues, a lot of doors have opened. That's the interesting bit. You know, someone is working very hard to try sabotage you, but they don't know that they actually catalyzing your growth.
And I love the fact that you see it with a mind filled with positivity, other than feeling it like from a place of feeling, you know, sad and pitiful and just, you know, delving into that corner where you feel depressed. But have there been moments maybe when you've looked at yourself and looked what's happening in the state of your company and you're like, good Lord, I'm screwed.
I mean, initially, I almost slid into depression. I keep telling guys that in November because I was like, I couldn't understand.
And November last year.
November last year. You know, I always win. I've never lost. I've never had any criminal. I mean, I have a career span in 10 years without a single criminal case. You know,
and that means you've built credibility and resilience.
Yes, a lot of credibility. And you know, all of a sudden things suddenly don't work. Of course, you're going to ask yourself a lot of questions. You start beating yourself up. But over time, I realized that after reading a lot of articles, seeing the journeys of a lot of other great founders, I've understood it's a phase every person goes through. In fact, like the other day I was in Dubai, and I met
just landed yesterday.
Yes, I met someone who told me, a very powerful guy in the UAE, and he told me, look, this is a path. This is a stage every new company has to undergo. There's no way you're going to build a company to let's say a billion shilling valuation, a $1 billion valuation, you know, something major, and fail to undergo through some of these problems. And these problems are good because they teach you. They make you realize, number one, you're not invisible. Number two, you have to, you know, put in place some measures. Number three, you always have to get a very good support system. Because before then, you know, I've always operated like a lone ranger, the lone wolf. But now going forward, I've realized that there's, you know, there's a very critical need to have the right partnerships, to have the right friends, to have good connections in high places. You know, there are things that you don't see like they're important, but once you start realizing how people move and what people can do to try bring you down, you start, you realize that
precaution.
Yes, there's some precautions you really need to take. Yeah, so over time, I mean, I got over it, and now I think I'm actually enjoying. I'm enjoying the battle now.
Yeah. And let me ask you, as all these events are unfolding in your face, how's the state of your company? Have you downsized in terms of staff? And are they paid wherever they are? And are you even looking forward as well to include some on board, or that's a done deal?
No, like right now, I mean, we've been forced to downsize the company. We shut down the Kiambu Road branch on Saturday. So right now, we only left with the Westlands operation, the corporate office, the Diamond Plaza office, and we've also been forced to cut down on the number of staff we have. And even the guys who are left are operating on a, you know, on a certain fraction of their salaries. But again, perfectly normal in business. We have a comeback strategy. We've made the right connections, and we've put in place measures to ensure that once the company recovers, we are definitely going to take over the Kenyan motoring scene for good. Right.
I'm on your Instagram actually right now. There's a lot of feedback coming through. Your last post last night, the one you posted and captioned it as good night, you said, in the end, they'll always judge you anyway, so do what you want. And there's wild feedback as well underneath. Maybe what did you learn? Did it come from a place of, you know, maybe heartbroken? Because I also understand recently you shared that you're not that strong. You're vulnerable sometimes, and you've understood that you're weak and sometimes you need help and strength and support.
People will always judge you. I mean, when I was winning awards last year, they called me a Freemason. You know, they said I was a Freemason. They said I was, you know, they said I was a drug dealer. They said I was in wash. They said I was financed by powerful politicians. But now everybody can clearly see that none of that is true. I mean, if I had never-ending supplies of money, I wouldn't be in a situation where, you know, I'm trying to look for investment in other countries. So the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter how perfect you are. People will always judge. So that's a lesson I've learned. So just live your life. Let them talk. I mean, they will say, whether you do good or you do bad, people will always talk. So find it in your heart to do what brings joy to you. You see, for me, in my case, it's building the companies, selling cars, flying. That brings me a lot of joy. So going forward, I really don't care what people like. I realized over time I was working so hard to prove to people that I'm honest, that I'm a good person. But you see, I mean, it's pointless. I realized that there are a lot of people who see my work and I don't need any convincing. And there are people, even if I told them, come and live with me and see how I live my life, they'd still judge me. So you just need to live your life and just ignore. If somebody is bad energy, just cut them off.
There's lots of interesting feedback coming through, and I'd like us to go through them really fast. When you were arrested and you were arraigned, while you were in custody, who was, maybe you'd say, the person that was by your side? Because a lot of people expected that maybe some of the people you've been romantically, publicly engaged with would be by your side, claiming you, supporting you, shielding you, but it turned out to be opposite.
No, actually, you know, there's one thing. There's something that has been going in the media that I find is very unfair. I feel like Wavinya has been painted in very bad light. I will need to clarify one thing. I mean, on camera.
So you feel like you need to defend her?
She actually came to the station.
Oh, she came to the station?
Yeah, she came.
But
in fact, I'm the one.
Not aware.
No. Yeah, because
the media.
No.
Maybe you never shared.
Yes, because we never shared. In fact, she wanted to come to court. I told her, don't come to court. Even my mom was ready to come to court. I told her, don't come to court. Yes. So I mean,
because you wanted to protect them from the negativity.
Sometimes you need to protect them from the negativity. So I feel like the media is really going after her. You know, the bloggers are attacking her. No, she was there for me. She came.
She was there.
She came to the station. She brought me food. I have the messages I can show you. I mean, she came. She was she wanted to come to court, but I told her, no, don't. Just let me. This is my battle. I don't know who's fighting me. Let me ride this storm alone.
Right.
Yes. Because sometimes you don't need you need to show the enemy that you're vulnerable. There's a great saying that says the art of war. Sun Tzu. I think that's when strong appear weak. When weak appear strong.
Yeah. Is that why you confessed you're not that strong, so that people
No, to be very honest, I'm not that strong. I mean, my strength has always come from God.
Yeah, and you've always been consistent.
Yes.
With it is God.
It is God, yes.
It is always God.
Yes.
And you attribute it repeatedly over and over.
Even right now.
The accusations, you're a Freemason, you're an Illuminati, you're in some,
I'm a
cabal
Christian.
or something.
No, I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus is Lord. And I've always held my faith. Some people will hold on to their faith when things are going good. Right. And when things start going south, they'll abandon God. I don't belong to that. I've always told God, even if I was to die today, even if I was to lose everything today, I will still die holding my faith very proudly. Because money does not define me. The cars, the fancy things, those things don't define me. I mean, I grew up poor and I was very happy. I've made a lot of money at a very young age. Again, I'm still very happy.
And speaking of money at a young age, maybe when you started selling cars, how much in total, maybe if you were to approximate in terms of, I'd say, car deliveries to your clients that you made, and in terms of now, if you were to accumulatively say the number in millions, how much is it? Because I remember I randomly just playfully Googled you, and it said KAIRO's net worth is 1 billion. Kenya shillings. I don't know if it's in dollars or it's in billion Kenya shillings.
No, I mean, the valuation of Kai and KAIRO, the company, is over 1 billion.
Oh, it's over 1 billion. That is the company's
Yes, the company's
valuation
is over 1 billion. Over 1 billion Kenya shillings. I'm not afraid to say this.
Right.
This is, it's a company. I mean, we are still out there. We are speaking to a lot of investors. So it's not something I'm afraid of saying or shying off from. We have a very good platform. We have a platform with 1.2 million users. In fact, I feel we undervalue the product.
That is your cumulative number of followers?
No, not followers. Those are the people who individually use our platform.
Or use your platform.
Yeah, we have 1.2 million people.
1.2 M, that's massive.
That's massive. We have 15 million views.
15 million views per
year.
Per year, that is.
So the KAIRO website, just to put it in perspective, it just can't sell cars. It can sell a lot of things. Tomorrow, if we decided we want to input a plugin for helping people sell spare parts, it will do it. You understand? So this is a tech platform that we've built right under the noses of people, and people don't realize it.
Right.
In fact, just to give you a bit of context, one of the most valuable tech startups in Asia, Kasam. Kasam has a valuation of over $1 billion. It's a used car dealership. They started off as a used car dealership. People look at all the cars in the city.
Right.
You need to, we are basically trying to create an ecosystem for everybody who owns a car in Kenya. We want them to use our platform, either to get mechanics, either to get spare parts, either to get insurance, either to get financing. So it's a very long-term goal. People see my plays over here, but they don't realize that I'm in this for the long run. My goals cannot be counted by months. We are looking at where is this company going to be in 10 years, in 20 years. You understand? Yeah, so just to give you the numbers, 1.2 million users annually, 15 million views, 300 cars delivered last year.
Accumulatively, how much do they amount to, the deliveries? If you were to
over 1 billion.
Roughly over 1 billion.
Yes.
That's profit.
No, that's not profit. That's the value.
That's the value.
That's the combined value of all the vehicles that were moved through the website.
Wow, that's wild. Let's sample another comment. This is from Maverick Awoko. Before we proceed, she sent paragraphs. She actually reacted. This is what she says. I'll take you through all of it. She says, "Good morning, buddy. Show KALIF my tweets. Tell him while the world was against him, I stood with him. When fellow men like Asamo and even journalist Ken Mijungu."
That's Maverick Awoko.
Yes, this is Maverick Awoko. Yes. She's mentioning Ken Mijungu was vilifying you. But she says she spoke out for you.
Yes.
And because she's been in shoes similar to yours when she was kicked down, especially on social media, she says she has no questions for you, but she says tell him that he learns to distinguish the difference between confidence and hubris. I'm just reading it real time. May he not use his own rope to strangle himself. And lastly, finally, we are praying for his restoration. He's young. May he find himself again, and good luck. This is from Maverick. I've just responded right there.
No, I saw it.
And,
and people attack Maverick, but Maverick is very intelligent. There are things she says people might not really agree with, but she's someone who always thinks outside the box. I've followed her for a very long time. Forget about last year with the Gen Z things, when she became very popular. This is someone I started. Maverick has always had an opinion that is different from the rest of the herd. And such people are misjudged in a lot of society.
Do you feel like you identify her as one of your tribe in some sort of kind of way?
To a certain extent. I find that she's very different. She's very outspoken. She might say some things that everybody gets shocked with, but forget about those things. Forget about, sometimes she does get angry and she'll attack people. But at times when you dig through her persona, especially, I started seeing her articles from a very long time ago. And she was a writer at Standard. She was, she actually used to be a writer at Standard. You can tell she's someone who's very intelligent. You see a lot of men. I've noticed that one of my biggest attackers are men above 30.
Fellow men,
are actually fellow men. It's not ladies.
And actually this is what she's saying here.
Yes. But you see,
why? Is it because maybe your success is a threat?
The problem is, the problem is because I'm changing, like, the sort of expectations that people have for men in a certain age. You understand? So people assume that in your 20s you should be playing around, messing around. Some of the things maybe I'm doing at 28, maybe there are things guys in their 30s probably are not doing. So you'll find a lot of guys take offense with that. You understand? And I find it to be very tragic. You understand? It's very, 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 very tragic that you get attacked by, like she mentioned Asamo. Asamo is a guy who's like, this is a guy.
Ken Mijungu.
These are guys who are in their probably 40s, if I'm not wrong. I mean, these are people who are very close to being the same age with somebody who could be my parent. You understand? But you see someone 24/7 attacking you.
Do you feel they're jealous?
No. I honestly don't understand. I think that people attack what they can never become. Someone above you will never attack you. It's always the people beneath you.
So they're afraid of your success. Or
it's not even. I honestly try to. I find it to be very intriguing. In fact, I don't block them. I mostly engage with their comment.
How do you even handle this negativity, bro? It's massive. It's coming every day from your current post. Even when you share something inspirational, people pointing out to the pay bills and whatnot.
You always need to remain focused. And you need to understand.
And how do you do that, by the way?
You need to ignore.
Centered.
You need to see them.
Read the feedback.
I'll read the feedback. You need to understand. Even Jesus, in his perfection, in his glory, was still killed by humans. The same people he came to save are the same people who crucified him. Now, I cannot compare myself to Jesus. You understand? But imagine someone who was as perfect as Jesus was still judged, was still treated badly. Now imagine a sinner like me, a person who has imperfections. It will be very stupid for me to assume that everybody is going to love me. So you need to make peace about the fact that you cannot impress everybody.
Absolutely.
But there are three entities you cannot lie to. You cannot lie to yourself, you cannot lie to God, and you cannot also lie to Satan.
Absolutely. There's still massive reaction, but then there's developments from what you said. You said right now you're not prioritizing relationships, meaning that maybe you're not, because Valentine's is literally this Friday.
So from this Friday?
Yes, it's this Friday. I can imagine you have no idea, and you're seated here. I can imagine how you're laser focused on how to get better. So will you still be with Maria or Vinya, or you did away with it?
No. We actually broke up with Maria sometime in November, and it had got
November last year.
Yeah, that was in November last year. We had a very amicable breakup because I realized that the relationship wasn't. We both of us realized that this relationship wasn't working. You see, people have different interest in life. Maria is someone who wants to settle down. Raise a family. Do her own things.
And you're not ready for that?
No. I realized that sometimes, given the nature of my job, and given the sort of responsibility that God has placed on my hands, it takes away a lot of my time. And that always tends to be a conflict point at some point in all relationships I've had. It's a theme that keeps repeating itself in all my relationships.
Yeah.
For the last 10 years, I honestly sat down and I realized every woman I've dated, they're not actually the problem.
Oh, you are the problem?
Yes, I've always been the problem.
You've contributed.
No. I mean, I sat down and I analyzed. The problem. And I literally put my ego aside. Yeah. And I realized.
How did you participate in the mess?
And I asked myself, what roles did I? And I realized that the sort of attitude I have, the sort of approach I have to life, it's a very crazy approach. And a lot of people will not agree with it. A lot of people might say I take very crazy risks, which is true. And sometimes people don't understand that the commitment I have to the companies and everything sometimes will cloud my vision, and I may not be able to take care of a woman in the right manner. So I realized.
But you have your son.
I do have my son. I do have my son. But then again, even going back even to my son's story, you'll realize even with that particular relationship, I was always the person sometimes. I think I was always the problem in all these relationships because I'm dating people sometimes who cannot understand me. And it always creates friction along the way. So I realized, so I told myself the other day, maybe I should just take a break from relationships, work on myself, work on the companies,
focus
build a very good foundation.
Back,
when I'm 35 and I decide to retire, then now I can
have a full blast wedding.
I can have a full blast family life. I don't have to wake up.
No wedding, KAIRO, please.
Weddings.
Usikose kuni-invite kwa hiyo harusi.
But anyway, you know actually weddings are not for men. I don't believe weddings are for men.
Okay.
Maybe someone can correct me. I think weddings are for women.
And the way somebody has been pressurizing me to have a wedding, I was like,
pressurize. I know
it's not for men. I'm actually taking lessons from KAIRO. Weddings, not for men. Period.
It's not bad to have a wedding, but the show, hizo mambo yote ya harusi.
That whole drama.
That's your wife to decide. You should not be arguing over themes with your wife.
But the church will say, your pastor will say, you know what?
No, I'll do a wedding. Jakata. But the thing is, it's not like something.
You don't feel like it's a priority, anyways.
No, it's not like something I would. You'd never find me stalking a wedding page and saying I want a wedding.
Nigeria's best weddings. Now let's move on. There's a lot of reactions still. There's people who've had a lot to say about you. You recently appeared in a sit down and you said you're so sick and tired of them advising you. Where have they been for the last 10 years when you were building up, when you were broke, when you were slim, when you had nothing? But Peter Salasya had some good sentiments to say to you. He said he's welcoming you on his side to teach you business and to kickstart your life again. I was like, yes, I love that one.
I mean, Salasya, one thing I like about that guy is that he represents a certain breed. People don't realize that we are in a generational shift of sorts. All these faces you're seeing right now.
Actually, in 2018, they were not there.
Yes.
This energy it's not never there.
You know this whole Gen Z wave, people think it ended with a protest and everything. But no, it was, I think the protest was just a smaller, just a small sign that there's going to be a change of guard.
There's a revolution.
Yes, when I look at guys like Salasya, how he doesn't again side with the establishment. He always has his own views. He's doing his own thing. I see somebody who's got the potential maybe to become president one day.
Okay.
You understand? So like we just, you see the guys like Kina Morara doing their own thing.
Kazma Makori.
Yeah, I mean it just gives me a good energy. Alafu isaidie yetu ya biashara. You have people like us taking on the establishment, because the establishment is always just political. The establishment pia there are people who've been in business, our fathers, and now you see there are people who have to take the mantle from them. So
a lot of wisdom, KAIRO.
Yeah, easy.
A lot of wisdom coming from you.
Ni kawaida.
Ambachi also had something to say about you, including Bien Sautiso. But you had some sort of tirade and exchange.
I don't know Mbachi, but I know Bien.
You know Bien.
Actually we
Would
go
you
back
take
with
Bien's advice?
No, I think Bien's advice was also misconstrued. Bien was like, don't focus on the negative energy. He was not telling me just keep quiet, never post. No, he was just saying just do your thing. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to respond to them. That is how I interpreted it. And Bien is someone I've worked with. I don't know who that is.
Never heard of him?
I've never
You
heard
don't know
of
him?
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to the Gen Z protest shortly. I believe that's just 1 minute and 30 seconds of it.
Yeah.
When you first premiered, as you were like the poster child of the Gen Z protest.
Wow,
and
really?
then you died, and then all of a sudden you stopped tweeting, and there was like, you know what, has KALIF KAIRO betrayed the movement? And from there till right now, you've not said anything about, you know, what transpired thereafter.
No, people need to understand that we didn't go to the streets to overthrow a government. That's one thing I'll keep on saying without being shy about it. We went to the streets because there was a bad finance bill that was in, you know, that was there. But I felt along the way, other elements started hijacking the protests. The protests were very organic. Nobody was getting paid.
Okay.
I remember, like, but it got to a point and they started becoming political. One thing I try to avoid at all cost is anything political.
Did you feel like it would have injured your business?
Yeah, forget about
Absolutely.
the business. Yeah, I try to be very neutral. That's why, like right now, you won't see me supporting maybe you know, the opposition or supporting the president. I just try.
Silhouettes and the AI,
at this particular
CGI
point,
images,
yes, I just
You're
try
neither
to.
on the.
I'm neither of any side.
Opposition,
I don't belong. I'm not allied to any political side. And the reason you saw me back off is because it became political.
Yeah.
But the whole point why people went to the streets was because we just want to tell the government, look, please remove this bill. Business is not good. Business has not been good for a very long time. Now adding another tax burden would have killed a lot of small businesses.
Absolutely. We have to exit KAIRO.
Okay.
I have a short, tiny game. It's called I Am. So you'll just have to complete it. So say, I am at peace when my life, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the first one is, I am at peace when?
I am at peace when my phone is not ringing.
Wow. Because when your phone rings, you know, it's danger.
It's always pressure.
Money is about to exit somewhere. I am angry and upset when
things don't work, especially when a company doesn't go in the direction you want it to go.
Okay. I feel grateful when
I feel grateful. I mean, every day I wake up in good health. I'm always grateful to God.
I was heartbroken
when people don't seem to understand you.
Okay. Yeah. I panicked when?
Okay, getting arrested for the first time was a bit of a shock.
Right. Yeah. How did it feel, being alone in custody?
I mean, the first time.
Did you feel like your world was tumbling down?
Not really. Yeah.
Or you were used
to it?
But
the first time they locked me up, they put me in the same cell with a murderer. And honestly, we had a very interesting conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you, anyways, I regretted when?
I regretted. I rarely have regrets in life.
Okay, I was shocked when?
When everything blew and I became this famous. I never expected to become this famous.
Okay, I cried when? This is the second last. I cried when?
I don't cry.
You don't cry. Yeah. I hate it when? Lastly.
When I see grown men attacking me, it's pointless.
All right, so do you feel like this dust is going to settle anytime soon? And maybe when should we expect progress and highlights? Because also when you tweet, there was feedback from maybe the help that you requested for when you put out a pay bill. There's somebody who had asked, they wanted to know how much was contributed, how many people contributed. Yeah.
Good question. Kenyans raised around 700,000 or 800,000.
700,000.
Yeah, and 95% of that money went to my company. Okay. You know, so guys, so in Dubai, they're like, oh,
that's the money you've spent in Dubai.
Not really. Actually, I'll one day tell the story of how I went to Dubai. It's a whole miracle.
Right. But how much was contributed?
800,000, 95% of it in the company. I actually took, I think from that money I only took 20,000. The rest of it, we split it in the company because a lot of my staff were really suffering. You understand? Guys had overdue rents. So they split it. We paid some rents. We paid some advertisements. We cleared some bills. We paid our electricity and everything. So thanks a lot, Kenyans, because you played a huge role in saving the company when I was at my lowest.
Right. There's somebody here who asked, do you feel like maybe your ex, Sarah Imani, is clapping and rejoicing for your demise? No, he's not died. He's still alive. Probably, maybe. Do you feel like she's happy? She says it's karma.
No, I honestly don't think she's a bad person, to be very honest. I wouldn't want to vilify her. I think it would be very unfair.
But has she said something since this storm started?
We don't talk.
Oh, you don't talk.
I don't talk to any of my exes.
Okay, period. Your last words as we exit. To the Gen Zs, what they should anticipate as well from your business.
I mean, we keep pushing, we keep fighting. I mean, we are the next big things. Today we are suffering because tomorrow we are going to be in a lot of glory. So keep pushing, never give up. I'm not giving up anytime soon. And please continue supporting my company, kaiandkaro.com na Mungu Mbele.
Absolutely, Mungu Mbele. Somebody had asked what is your favorite Bible verse here, but you'll say that of the end. Takwambia personally. Thank you so much, KALIF KAIRO.
Okay.
Happy New Year. It's been decades, so much growth. Nice to meet you. Healthy, happy, alive and kicking. Yeah. I know. So thank you so much for being here. All right, so thank you as well for watching us from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I and my co-host Stephanie Ayeta will definitely see you tomorrow bright and early right here at Y254 channel, at Brian Sako 101, at Stephanie Ayeta. See you tomorrow.